This is your Indianapolis Double 10 Grand Prix ChampCar Endurance Series event driver meeting. And so Bill doesn't get mad at me. The TireRack.com Indianapolis Double 10. And as usual, a thank you to our sponsors, Willwood Brakes, Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline USA Fire Suppression Systems, RVA Graphics and Wraps, and our Sportsmanship Award brought to you by the Chandler School, and our class sponsors, Krispy Kreme, Discovery Parts, and MoneyShiftRacing.com. Big thank you to those guys for being on board with us. Okay, COVID. We're going to jump right into COVID. It's still a thing. It's going to be a thing at this race. A lot of the changes we're making to the normal way we do things is all centered around compliance with COVID regulations. So stand by for a little bit of changes here. If you've been to our races so far this year, this is probably going to be a little bit familiar to you. If you haven't, just kind of get ready to roll with it. So keep that in mind. If you're looking at our event and going, wait, it's different, that's why. First thing, right out of the gate, all the group meeting stuff is going to be canceled. This is obviously your driver's meeting. If you want a longer refresher for some of the stuff we're going to talk about here today, please scroll down a little bit in the email that you link to this from, and you will see the new to Champ Car, new driver, welcome to Champ Car meeting. It's a longer discussion there about flags, pit lane regulations, that kind of stuff. If you haven't raced with us in a long time, or you just want a refresher for some of these things, click on that. The video is also available on our website. There's a link to it on the forum. Excuse me. Second thing, the award ceremony is canceled. We will use the loudspeaker, notify the award winners, and we'll deliver your trophies to you there at the race, and we'll push it out that way. Bill will push some stuff out over video by the internet, but there will be no group meetings for award ceremony, that kind of stuff. When you arrive at the track, as last year, you're going to group in the gravel parking lot across the street there from the Turn 2 entrance. You will hand in your waivers. You will get a wristband for that day. You will get your temperature checked. That will happen before you go across the street. You will also get your parking passes. If you did Indy last year, you'll be familiar with this. There are parking passes for the various areas. If you are going to the garage, you will get a parking pass for your hauler to go to the garage. If you don't have a garage and you're operating out of the paddock, you'll get a parking pass to send your hauler over to the paddock area. You will also get 2 passes for other passenger vehicles to get into the areas where the paddock and the garage are to drop off equipment. Any other extra vehicles are going to be parked in the overflow lot at the museum. Again, it'll all be explained when you roll in on Friday, but just be prepared to go through. Remember, have your waivers done ahead of time. Everybody coming into the track, everybody, drivers, crew, kidnapped victims, you name it. Everybody's got to have their waiver filled out and turned in. You will get your waiver wristbands when you do, say that right, waiver wristbands, your waiver wristband, say that 3 times fast. You will get your waiver wristband when you get your temperature checked, get your parking pass, and then you roll in and do your setup. Before you get to the track, also, again, talking about reducing group gatherings, please have all your tech forms filled out properly in advance. If your car has a 2020 tech sticker on it already and it's past tech, just take your logbook and go to registration, finish up your normal registration as usual. If your car does have to go through tech, please have all your documents filled out in advance, ready to go. One person can accompany the car through tech, preferably the team captain. Same thing at registration. Have your team captain bring your completed tech form or your logbook to registration. You'll get the remaining wristbands for your drivers and crews and whatnot. We really don't want a lot of people going through with the cars at these various places. So one person with the car to each of these places, preferably the team captain, somebody who's knowledgeable about the car and can answer questions and sign for things. Also, please have your memberships and your race registrations paid up in full before you get to the track. Yes, we can process payments at the track, but it just takes time and it's another contact point and another congestion point. So the more things you can have paid in advance before you get there, the quicker the process will go for everybody. Again, on Friday, you can start setting up in your garage. Gates will open around 10. We should have pit lane open approximately at noon, probably noon to 6. It's plenty of time to set up pit lane. We are going to try and get, like I said earlier in one of the written things, we're going to try and get another gate open further down pit lane, either near the pagoda building or a little bit up from there, so the people who are pitted on the far end of pit lane, up in like pit stalls 1 through 10, can have easier access through into the paddock. Change the page. Fuel. Excuse me. Like last year, you need to purchase all your fuel at the track. It's part of our contract condition from Indy. It's just something we got to deal with. If you dealt with it last year, you remember we had a few issues with fuel last year. We had a long conversation with the fuel vendor, and he said that as much as he was front-loaded on what we needed and as many meetings as we had with him ahead of time, he still wasn't quite fully aware of what he was getting into. This year he knows better. He didn't quite expect to have to sell so much fuel on Friday. He expected people to be buying more of their fuel Saturday and during the race. So he's going to be much better prepared this time. First, he's going to have his truck delivered and in place on Thursday, so he will just have to roll in on Friday. He will be ready to go and ready to sell fuel at 10 o'clock. The big thing is he's going to have two separate lines. If you have 5-gallon jugs, he's going to have a regular gravity-fed line like last time to fill the 5-gallon jugs, and he's going to have a separate container with a pressure pump to fill the 55-gallon drums. So I know that some of the congestion last time with the 55-gallon drums, he'll have a separate line for them where he can fill them at a higher rate of speed and not hold the people up with the 5-gallon jugs. So fuel should go a lot faster this time. All right, Saturday, race. Be ready to go, 8 o'clock, green flag on track. That means drivers in their cars, buckled in, engines on, ready to go, approximately 7:45. We'll have the pit marshals out there to give you counts and give you times, but long story short, please have your cars in position, ready to go, 7:45, drivers buckled in, ready to roll. We will make an announcement at the track. We will use Jimmy's random number generator, and he will select a pit stall. We will start with that pit stall. Again, it will be identified Saturday morning at the track. We'll start with that pit stall. We'll work our way down pit lane till we run out, start at the other end at 1, and work back to the next pit stall before obviously our starting number. So say for example, if we pick 10, we'd go 10, 11, 12, all the way to the end, and 1 through 9. For Sunday, we will start at the same pit stall and go the opposite direction. So if we started at 10 and went down, for Sunday we'll start at 9 and go the opposite direction. So if you're in the middle of the pack, you're going to be in the middle of the pack. If you're at the front of the pack on Saturday, you're going to wind up at the back of the field on Sunday. But again, we'll make that announcement on Saturday morning using Jimmy's fancy random number generator. Quick discussion about flags, please. Again, if you want more information on the flags and specifically how we enforce the flags and how the race is going to lay out, please watch the new Champ Car video. But just a quick reminder on the flags. Standing yellow flag. We use line of sight rules. If you can see the flag, that flag is for you. 70% race speed with a standing yellow, no passing. From the moment you can see the flag, no passing until you are past the incident and you can see the next flag station and see that the next flag station has no flag, then you can go back to racing. So standing yellow, 70% race speed. Waving yellow flag means you're coming up into the incident, actual incident area itself, 50% race speed, again, no passing. If you're seeing yellow flags, no passing. On the yellows, if there's a double yellow, we prefer not to put the pace car out if we don't have to, but if we do, there'll be a double yellow flag displayed. The reason we need to put the pace car out is because I need a big area of open track to work my incident and do whatever cleanup that is. So that means I need the field bunched up. If there is a double yellow flag out, it means we're going to put out the pace car. If you're the leader, congratulations, proud of you, happy for you. Please know you're the leader and do not race my pace car. Look for the pace car coming out if you're the leader. If you're not the leader, if you're looking out your windshield and you see double yellow flags, you should see either A, the pace car, or B, one of your competitors. Catch up to the field. I need the field packed together under a double yellow flag so I have plenty of open space to work my incident. The sooner you guys get packed up and tightened up, the sooner I can clear the incident, the sooner I can get you guys back to green flag racing, because that's what you paid to come and do. Again, more information on the flags if you watch the new driver video. Pit lane. Pit lane speed is going to be 20 miles an hour. Remember, the pit lane at Indy is really narrow. It's kind of tight. We're looking at having pretty good volume of cars there, so pit lane speed 20 miles an hour. Everybody stops at pit in and gets a timer. Everybody stops at pit out and gets your timer taken off, and you get your safety gear checked. We will check your wristband. Make sure you have your driver wristband on when you go out. We will turn you around if you don't have it. This is my liability statement. I make it all the time. It is your responsibility to buckle your drivers into the car properly, not ours. We will do a courtesy check. We will look and see if anything is obviously out of place or wrong. If it's something we can help you fix there, we will. But otherwise, if your safety gear is not attached properly, we're going to have to turn you around and send you back to your team to take care of it. So Make sure your driver is buckled in properly. Make sure your driver has his or her 2020 tech inspection sticker on the side of the helmet, and they have their wristband on. We will have to turn you around and send you back to get that fixed. We had to do it here just a few minutes ago at Thompson. The drivers don't like it. The best way to avoid that is get your stuff checked out. Make sure you got your equipment all right when you get in the car. Fuel stops, just a quick reminder on fuel stops. 5 people over the wall, everybody in full driver gear. Socks, suit, gloves, balaclava if you need it, full face helmet, shield down. The only exception is you can wear closed-toed lace-up shoes. You don't have to wear your driving shoes. You can wear ordinary shoes, but other than that, you got to be in the full driver gear that you wear when you go over to drive. 5 people over the wall, 1 person with a 10-pound fire extinguisher, pin pulled, pointed at the fueler, ready to go. Drip pan with 3-inch hard side underneath where the fueling is taking place. 1 5-gallon jug at a time over the wall, 1 person handling the jug. You can have the driver in and the driver out, and 1 extra person to help the driver in and the driver out. Remember that during the fuel stop, that's from the time the gas cap comes off to when the gas cap goes back on, and all the fuel jugs and whatnot are back over the wall. Between those 2 points, the only thing you can do is fuel the car and change the driver. No checking air pressures, no checking lug nuts, no carrying other equipment around, nothing. I said this in the other meeting and I'll say it again here. Fueling the car takes about 2 minutes. Most cars can run close to 2 hours. So for simple math, that's 120 minutes. I need your full attention for 2 minutes out of every 120 on just fueling. Other than that, service the car how you need. As soon as that gas cap goes back on, the equipment goes back over the wall, you can service the car, you can have as many people over as you want, do whatever you need to do. We ask you for a 30-minute limit for making repairs on pit lane. If you're going to be over 30 minutes, please be kind to your pit mate and take your car back to your paddock or your garage. But other than that, you got 30 minutes to service the car on pit lane. Hopefully you won't need it. You knock out your fuel change and your driver change and send them back out and be on your way. Remember, it's a double 10 event. That means each race, each day will be scored completely separately, prizes and trophies for each day. Please, closed-toed shoes only. That's on the hot side and the cold side. Indy's a little bit easy to understand. When you walk through the gasoline alley area, there's a great big yellow line on the ground as you walk under the stands. When you walk under that, you need to have closed-toed, lace-up shoes on. If I can see your toes sticking out of the shoes, you're going to need to go and change them. We're kind of making a point out of this because it's happened like 5 times in the last 2 races. Please, no open-toed shoes on pit lane, specifically at Indy when you walk through the gasoline alley area.
So my mom has a little fire extinguisher in the kitchen. Can I use that on pit lane as well when I do my fueling?
When I said 10-pound ABC dry chemical extinguisher, there is another specialized extinguisher that is allowed in our rule books. If you don't know what it is, look it up in the rule book. But if you don't know what it is, then you probably shouldn't be using it. So get yourself a 10-pound ABC dry chemical extinguisher with the pin pulled and full. Make sure the gauge says full, not empty, kind of like your gas tank. All right, we harp on it, we joke about it, but believe me, when you need it, that's going to be the one piece of gear you really, really want to work. Okay, so excellent question, not Doc.
Hey, so if I have any more questions to ask you, where do I contact you at?
Contact Bill Strong at Bill Strong. Bill Strong. Send your questions to Bill. He'll vet them and forward them on to me, Dana.Morrison at ChampCar.Live.